Hello and welcome back to more City Skylines here with me, Mr. Grand 2, and episode 3 of our A Fine City project as we try our best to recreate the fine city of Norwich as accurately as we can, despite the limitations of the game here on the PS4 and also my general incompetence. We've started building the sort of end of King Street area, the Riverside area, and we've got not very far in 2 episodes, mostly just me prattling about like some sort of moron. But today, then, we're going to try and finish off this area here, finish off getting up to where the city is, and then we're going to start building the more sort of entertainmenty area over here in the shopping district, and most importantly of all, we're going to put in Carrow Road, and we might even start looking at the train line as well, depending on the time that we have. So, since last time, I have just tweaked some roads here a little bit, added a little bit of stuff in to this bit here. We put in the sports centre that is here, and we put in the tax office to stimulate a government building that is here. Stimulate a government building? Simulate a government building. I'm sure they're very stimulated here in the tax office. They look like they're very stimulated, all the people that work there. Anyway, what we need to do this time then is we're going to put in some more housing. People need houses, apparently. People need houses. And so we better put some houses in. So, yeah, there's like... We discussed this last time before I deleted it. I don't know what to do for this because it's sort of... The houses here, there's sort of like multiple flats and they're not... I don't want them to be too tall like these ones are, because these ones, you know, are sort of... These are some quite high-level flats, apartment blocks, as Americans would call them, and you know that's what it's like. But the ones we're building now are I mean, they're not horrible. They're just sort of less new, I suppose. They were built quite a few years ago, so they're not as fancy as these ones. And I don't really know how to necessarily replicate that as accurately as possible. We're also building up garbage. So before I do that, garbage, I've been playing the game too much. Rubbish is what I call it. Rubbish is what I call it. We're gonna, before I forget, because I will forget, we're just gonna whack in. We're not gonna put in a landfill. We're gonna whack in an incineration plant, and we're gonna whack in a recycling plant. That's what it's called. Again, these are things that I'm pretty sure do exist somewhere in Norwich, but I don't know where they are. And frankly, I don't want to know. We're just going to put those in there for now. Also, I've just realised there is very little way connecting the industry that we put in the last episode with where people live, which isn't great, is it? You want to be able to get to where you work, don't you? I mean, you know, it's what we all dream of, being able to have a job and drive there. There was a little, let's call it an incident with the industry whereby I forgot to do the water up properly. So look, all of these were abandoned, but now only some of them are. So, you know, it's progress. We're making progress here. Anyway, there we go. We also need to put in a graveyard. And I'm getting complete... We're putting the houses in. We're putting these houses in. I'm going to put them in like this for now. I might... You know, I'm changing my mind. Because it doesn't look right. There might be a certain combination of squares. If anyone watches this, ever, and you actually know what you're talking about, because I don't, is there a sort of combination of squares that we can use that sort of accurately creates what I'm after, if you even know what that means, like sort of multi-story houses is what I'm getting at, that are for more than one person, but are not like this. Actually, I mean, these are quite accurate. Actually, these are quite accurate. I'm gonna change it back. If we can get it like that, then actually that's not too bad. No, well, you know, I'm going to leave it as high density. I'm all over the place today. Anyway, what I was getting at, we put a little bit more in here. if it's too high, we'll just put it down to low density. But anyway, there is here is a graveyard. Well, it's a church. There's a lot of churches in Norwich, but it has a graveyard. They all have graveyards, so we can put one in, or a cemetery, as it's actually called, and then we'll fill in. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? It looks quite nice. We'll fill in some more like housing around here as well. There's a little bit of I think probably we'll leave a little bit of a gap, and then on this side there is a little bit more housing as well, and then that goes up to yes. Again, I'm going to do this one for this one. We'll go 3 back. See how that looks, because we definitely need more housing, and then there's quite a bit more housing up here onto this road that I put in, and then around here as well. We'll fill in on this side too, and then this is all just houses on this side of the road for quite a lot of what we've got left to fill in. So what we'll do, there is some other stuff that I don't want to sort of miss out. Quite interesting features. I don't really want to miss out. Like, there's a few shops around here, and a few offices, actually as well, that I want to include. But yeah, there's it's a lot of housing, and we can fill in most of that. So there's a lot of housing on this side as well. So we just go straight and fill all that in. There we go. And we will unpause this and actually let it build up a little bit. Make sure the water's all looking nice and good. A few bits here. And people desperate. They're desperate for the housing. Absolutely desperate for the housing. Ready to build up, all ready to go. And yeah, looking very nice. So the next thing that we're going to do, we'll try and finish off this part as rapidly as possible, so we can get on the other side of the river, which is a little bit more sort of interesting, I guess, to build. I mean, I'm having a great time. To be honest, I'm making this for myself, really. If anything, I think this will appeal to very few people, which is not really necessarily a good idea if you are attempting to establish a YouTube channel. But nevertheless, I think that it's something that I'm happy to do. Right, so we've got more houses here, and then now there's a sort of, just drop my phone, which is always helpful. Here there is a sort of it's a mechanics, like an auto repair shop, as you might call it, which there isn't really anything in the game for that. I think there are some commercial buildings that sort of kind of spawn for it, but this is just going to build a restaurant or something, isn't it, if I do that, which is a little bit annoying, and it's sort of, there's actually there's a little road here. I'm going to definitely do a gravel path for this. I'm going off here, and it's sort of, it's like a sort of, well, it's kind of like a mini industrial estate, but I can't really put industry in here because it will just pollute everything, won't it? I don't know. Is it like, is that what it is? Are these sorts of things in industry, like car repair shops in industry? Because that doesn't really make any sense to me, but it may well be the case. See, it's just going to spawn like a restaurant. Ugh. I don't know. It kind of looks accurate. We're just going to leave it. Now here is the waterfront music concert place, which is sort of, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to really replicate that because the concerts DLC, which would be great, because it's got a music hall thing, and that would be brilliant, and that's exactly what we need, is for some reason it's not in the game. It's not in the game, so I don't really know what to do for this. I think we're just going to have to do some commercial again, really, unfortunately. And there's like a cafe next to it as well, and a bike shop. So to be fair, a little commercial area there. We'll have to do that. That's the best we can get, I think, in terms of accuracy there. If anyone's got any other ideas for what we can do to make that a little bit more accurate, based on what's actually in the game, let me know. But yeah, I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Now, there's another housing area here, which is a bit more sort of new. So it's sort of more like high-end housing, I guess you would say, and it ends up connecting up to this. So we'll drag that across, and then we will put in another road here. It's got that. See, that road's gone a little bit too far for my liking. I'm going to sort of trim this a bit from there. Yeah. Why won't you let me do it there? There's nothing there. Is it because the angle's too tight or something? Right, we'll bring that. Oh, I'm just going to leave it then. I'm not bothered. Not especially bothered, because his is all going to be filled in anyway, with other housing and stuff. So we'll put in some more housing here, because we're still desperately in need of housing. So this is sort of, yeah, we want a bit more high density here. There's some massive new developments that have been put in, and we're going to put them up here as well. Filling all that in, which is nice. And then, yeah, I'm gonna, this again, they're sort of like half the size of these, so I'm gonna put in a few more over here. Look how quickly that's building up. They're absolutely they're desperate for it, absolutely desperate. I'm questioning the accuracy of this. I'm very much questioning the accuracy of this, but I think we're just gonna have to go with it. There's another like garagey bit down here, which is how am I supposed to replicate this? How am I supposed to replicate this? I think the answer is obviously that I'm not, and we just can't, and we're just gonna have to accept it. We're gonna have to accept that it's not going to be strictly accurate, and just move on with our lives. But it's, in terms of scale, this is actually doing quite well. I was worried it was going to be, we're going to have too much to do in this space, but actually it's coming along quite nicely, for sort of how I wanted it to look. So we're gonna have to fill in. I think we're gonna have to fill in some more shops, just because while it might not be 100% accurate in terms of the look of the thing, there is a selection of shops there. It is accurate to the point of, I guess, what the function of that area is, and that's all we can really hope for at this stage, with the limited capabilities of this game on the PlayStation. You might be wondering at this point, why are you playing the game on the PlayStation? Why are you not playing on the PC? Why do you own it on the PC? The problem is that it is just really bad on my computer. My computer is not capable of running it at any sort of reasonable level, reasonable speed, without having hugely significant issues. And for that reason, I'm just gonna have to play it on this. And I do like the PS4 version. I think it's quite accessible and quite user friendly. This is building up quite nicely, isn't it? But it's just it's just obviously not as many capabilities as you would like. Anyway, so there's a lot more sort of housing along here. Really, the whole street is just sort of is mostly housing. I'm going to put in a little bit more. Again, it's a sort of, I don't really want. It's hard to really know what to put, because there's sort of, there's quite a lot of. See what happens when you just do one square. of high density. What's going to build up? Because it's like, yeah, they're not. It's not really this big. They're not really that big. I should maybe have zoned them a little bit differently. I don't know. I don't know. What does it look like when we just do one? See, that's what I'm kind of going for. Actually, that's not bad. That's kind of what I'm looking at. We'll have to do that then. For at least some of it. For at least some of it. So, quite a lot of new housing here. And then we need to put, there's like another sort of bridgey bit. Bridgey bit? Bridgey bit? I think you're talking about a bridge, aren't you? Yeah. Honestly, the words just fail me. Absolutely fail me. Right, there's another sort of bridgey bit here. It's called a bridge, and it's another pedestrian bridge. Norwich is a very green city in a lot of ways, very pedestrian friendly. So we'll put that in over there. Right, love it. Now the problem here is that there's a building that sort of spans over this path, which is called it's called Dragon Hall, and it's sort of like a museum crossed with like a, I guess, school sort of thing. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's hard to describe like exactly what it is. That's not very helpful, is it? It's just it's a I think it's a museum. I've never actually been there, but it is like I think it's the National Centre for Writing now or something like that. I do like these small houses. That is the look I'm going for. This is fine, but this is the look I'm going for this area here, because it's a bit more sort of, looks a bit more sort of historical, doesn't it? And I think actually I need to put in, make historical to some of these buildings, just so they don't change. In fact, we'll do that here, just for these ones here. Because that does look really nice. It does look really nice, doesn't it? Very accurate. We'll make them historical, so then they will not change. Anyway, right, Dragon Hall. I don't have campus. I don't have the campus DLC, because we could put a museum in here. But for the time being, I don't know what to do. It needs to be some sort of unique building, because it's a unique thing. But there isn't really anything that sort of is like it. There's not really any sort of museum unique building that's in the game. I need to get campus. That's what I need to do. Is there something here that we can use that's sort of kind of maybe slightly like it? Government offices. I think what I'm going to do, because we don't have one yet, and the people are probably going to be annoyed, is we're going to put in, I was going to put in a school. We could put in a library, but it's not a library. Institute of Creative Arts, Modern Technology Institute. I'm going to put in a school. Maybe not the community school. Is this slightly smaller? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to put in a school. It's not a school. It's not a school. But it's kind of sort of like a school, I guess, is what I'm getting at. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll put a school in there. To sort of kind of slightly replicate the function of it. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with it at all. But there we go. There we go. I'm not going to put a gravel path there. We're going to put in I'll put in another path. Well, I'll leave a gravel path there for now. Anyway, right, where are we? Who knows? Who knows at all? I certainly don't. Keep going this way, and then what we're going to do is continue to fill in this. Now there's like some more, there's another road down here. There's a lot, they're building a lot of houses in Norwich. It's all they do at this point really, is just build houses. That's all they do. There's just, there must have been some builders, poor guys, who've just been literally building houses like forever. That must be all they do. All they know is building houses. There's some more shops here. I'll stop going on. More shops here. They're quite small shops. It's just like a cafe type thing there. And then we've got quite a few more sort of nice houses. Low happiness. Why? There's not that low happiness, is there? Don't give me that low happiness nonsense. There's another church up here. We're going to have loads of churches. There's so many churches in Norwich. It is actually ridiculous. We're going to have to put in a lot of cemeteries. A lot of cemeteries. We'll extend this path a little bit. The reason I've done this is because this isn't a road you can drive up. It's a pedestrian area. So gravel path is kind of, because like you can't build along regular paths, I don't think, anyway. So we'll do that. Right, there we go. And yeah, there's shops there. There you go, shops in there, and then it is literally just houses for the entire rest of the street until you get to the end where there's a few hairdressers, and it's like a whole building site which will eventually contain a large amount of houses here, so we can put that in because we're still in desperate need of housing. And again, there's another bridge here, isn't there? I don't know if there's another bridge actually. I don't know if there's another. Is there another bridge? I swear there's another bridge. Oh, maybe there's not. Maybe there's not. Well, anyway, I'm just going to put some side roads off here, which I don't think have been built yet. But you know, it's nice. It's nice, right? And we can put some high density stuff. This is time traveling because this doesn't exist yet. It's not been built yet. Some of it has, but most of it hasn't. Put it in there. Very nice. More housing is always a good thing, especially when you're playing Cities Skylines. And yeah, that looks quite nice. I'm going to put in a little bit bigger, just see what happens there. But yeah, I don't want them to, because it looks nice, but I don't want that all the time because it just doesn't really, I guess, like fit, you know. Not completely anyway. It just looks kind of samey. A lot of houses in Norwich do look quite samey. But like you don't just want that. Is what I'm getting at. You don't just want that because it does look. One of the problems I have is that this is on the boreal theme, and I don't want a petrol station there. It's not a petrol station. But yeah, it's on the boreal theme, and because it's on the boreal theme, I don't like these either. We'll put in. I want to put it back a little bit. There we go. Right, because this is on the what am I even talking about? Because this is on the boreal theme, we'll put in a little bit more low income as well. We can't have the sort of European houses that I would prefer to have, because there's no way of mixing and matching. I want boreal for a lot of stuff because a lot of the sort of offices and shops look a lot better on that. But in terms of housing, the European ones look a lot better. So what we're going to have to do, I don't want a petrol station there. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to probably get European suburbia at some point, and do stuff with that. Eventually, but that's a problem. It's a problem for another day. It's a problem for another day. So yeah, this is the housing development that doesn't exist, and then we've got some more relatively small houses going all the way along here. There are some like side developments that come off from this, which we can put in as well. They have some very ridiculous names. Oh, I think it's like that. We'll put it like that. that I don't. These are just sort of like cul-de-sac places that don't join up to anything. Yeah, not 100% sure. Keep this going along here. They do. I think some of them do sort of join up. Like this definitely joins up, and it sort of becomes this like half road, half not road. You know, like another road going along here, and then we can sort of fill all this in with a bit more housing. And there's like, I'm gonna have to extend this round here because there's like this again. This is sort of, it's like a pedestrian bit that you have to walk to get to your house, you know, if that makes sense. We'll put in 2 and fill all this in. We'll have to put in water. There we go. So we're pretty much at the end of King Street now, which is, you know, more or less where I wanted to get to. I did want to go onto the other side of the river as well, but yeah, we kind of ran out of time there. There's still quite a few buildings to go and quite a few more businesses down this side. But we're sort of running at the end of the recording time. There's crime. Why is there crime? We've got a police station. One police station is enough. There's only one police station in this whole city area in Norwich, really. Anyway, we will, get up to sort of this bit here. I do feel like we're not really making like huge amounts of progress because I'm sort of focusing more on sort of the minutiae a little bit. But, you know, there we go. That's just what I don't like this. It's not that big. There's nothing that big here. So we're going to demolish that. Well, I'm actually saying that, what we're talking about, there is. This is the new bits, isn't it? They don't actually exist. Anyway, I'm rambling. We still haven't quite got to the end of King Street. It's mostly just more housing. And then there's a few sort of like there's like 3 hairdressers, apparently, within a close vicinity. There's another church, things like that. I think I might sort of fill that in a little bit before next time, because I don't want to sort of drag this on. And then next time what we'll do is we're going to go to the other side of the river, and we're going to fill in the football stadium and things like that. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.